So, after sorting out a few issues with Lyle Kersten, the Tremere Primogen, Anais and the rest of the merry little group that she's sort of latched onto are going and following up on leads individually and taking care of some personal errands. Marie is headed back to her apartment to grab a few more things. Roland has a meeting with another one of the harpies in town, and Anais has arranged to have a drink with Gaston, the ghoul of the late Joan Sarno, who was Anaïs's mentor and protector for the last 3 years in Toulouse. You know that Gaston and Joan were very close. Joan took on Gaston sometime in the early 20th century, and Gaston was originally sort of in love with her. That hasn't exactly panned out the way he wanted, but he has been a loyal friend and companion to her he was a loyal friend and companion to her for the last century, basically. He's picked a small restaurant, cafe, on the north end of Rue Sainte-Catherine, a place with rich, dark, stained wood and very comfortable chairs. And when Anais shows up, he has already started on a bottle of something dark. The bottle has been left at the table, and the glasses are small, so you know it's potent. What does she do?
She just goes straight up to him and takes a seat just across from him. I'm assuming, is the floor creaky? I forgot. We were, but the floor. What?
Not particularly.
Okay, so yeah, it just makes a silent light creak, and she just sits down like right in front of him.
And he espies Anais as she sits down and says, "Chérie, oh," and he kind of gets up and comes around, doesn't quite stand up all the way, but kind of leans around the table. It's a small two-top table, and gives her a hug and a kiss on the cheek. "Oh, it's so good to see you." And he, as he sits back down, he ends up holding her hand on the table. How are you? How is everything?
Yeah, she returns all the pleasantries and everything. Everything has been very, very confusing for me through these times. I still have no idea how I'm going to plan to do what Joan has set up for me to do.
He, seemingly out of habit, double checks that there's no one that seems to be listening in on the conversation. And he says, "Well, tell me what you know and what you've done, and I'll see if I can fill in some blanks."
It feels that just so far I haven't done anything. It feels like everybody else has been doing things for me. This has been like a constant occurrence of my life. I feel like I've never had any sort of agency just in general.
What? You know, after my wife, I never had kids, and that was a long time ago. My kids are grown, my grandkids are grown, and I have not been able to be a part of their lives for a very long time. So I appreciated when Joan brought you home, and you could be not my daughter, but maybe a favorite niece. And we babied you, we did. Joan was so aware of how fragile you were when you came to us. And maybe we wrapped you a bit too tightly in cotton. Joan would have wanted you to continue on with her project, but she is gone. And if you feel that you have not had agency, then maybe we should let your affiliation with this pass as well.
What do you mean pass?
You were Joan's ward, and you were a guest in Toulouse. Is it your home, though? And if it is your home, do you think that this is a good thing to be, to try to throw off Vion and Paris and all of that?
Again, I haven't done anything for myself in my life. And Joan is probably the closest person that I've ever had like the pleasure of being with. The least I can do is help her in whatever way I can.
Well then, if this is the path you choose, it seems to me that what you are most well positioned for is to make friends here in Bordeaux. Begin making allies. Start finding supporters. Joan's mission here was just that, to start making connections with allies. The rebels in Toulouse, we are too few. We will not be able to sustain any kind of independence without support. Bordeaux has been dealing with Vion's hooks and machinations for much longer. Surely there would be someone here who would like an ally in the area. Do you have an idea who that might be?
Yeah, I know. It's just trying to think of. Although she might have had. None that I believe would be powerful enough. I know some. There are some allies who I know will help me, but they're not enough. I know I need more.
Have you been able to build any goodwill with the court in general?
The court and who?
The court in general.
Oh, the court and just like of the court. I was like, okay.
I mean, I know you don't exactly come from here, but you were embraced here. You had spent time here. I don't remember the name of that awful woman who had you ghouled, but surely there is someone you know from those days.
The only one I can think of is probably Urbane, but again, I don't think he has enough of the influence to help. But he can give me some support at court. I'm in people's favor, but not to the point where, eyes would just turn whenever I would like come into a room or anything like that.
So you just need to get yourself noticed. Make them notice you. You're in favor, but it sounds like the soft favor of someone who is not out of favor. Make it that strong favor. Give them a reason to want to be your friend and ally. What are you and your friends doing right now?
Right now, we're trying to figure out, just in general, who Joan's killer is. I'm doing all that I can to help them out. That's pretty much what we're doing.
That's a good step. Has there been any news about the Sabbat?
Again, Anais is like trying to. Again, I'm trying to or Anais is trying to remember anything. I've been so caught up with Marie and my other acquaintances that just thinking about the Sabbat kind of slipped my mind. Though I believe that whoever killed Joan is a big part of this.
It seems to me that if you bring Joan's killer to justice, then you take away Madeline's reason for being here. Yes, I know she's here. And defang another plot of Vion's. I imagine someone here would like that. And certainly any work you can do to ensure the city's safety against the Sabbat. I can't imagine people are resting comfortably right now.
Not after Joan's death, I don't believe.
That should get you in favor too. For arranging strikes and tactics and all of that, there will be time for that, and there will be other people for that. Right now, your important work is to find us allies in Bordeaux. Have you talked to the prince about this?
I've talked to him a bit, but I just don't like talking. She doesn't she doesn't or I just don't really, I don't really have a taste for people in too much high places or royals. The last time I talked with him, I've talked out of turn. They just irritate me.
That's so strange. From what I know of your time before your embrace, I would have expected that would be sort of, I don't know, second nature.
Wait, what do you mean second nature?
Well, people of authority and influence. You grew up with them.
It's complicated for me. Growing up as a human, my parents were always so distant from me. I never really knew what they wanted from me, and in turn, I did not know what authority wanted from me at all. I just didn't see them as someone of value or importance.
Gaston says, So your parents left a bad taste for these things in your mouth. Yes?
Yes.
Maybe it's different for me because my parents, so much of my family has been gone so long. I stopped carrying them with me a long time ago. They became too heavy. Maybe it would lighten your load. Or maybe you find new family to help you carry it. Whoever you have been, you do not need to be. You say you want volition and agency. Sometimes those things are given, but more often they are taken.
Sorry, yeah, Anais is just thinking, um, just in her mind. I it's just hard for her to process. She really wants agency, but the work it takes to get that, it scares her. So it's like I know I want agency, and I'm trying very, very hard to receive it, but it's just so difficult for me to even try. It's just very, very complicated for me.
So he's going to ask a question, and this is a question that could be rhetorical and kind of loaded, and he is not asking it that way. He is asking it in a more genuine, curious way. And he says, why is it difficult? What is holding you back?
Again, not even just my parents, the way that I came to be as a vampire. Also, like I never was in any sense of control at all.
Hmm.
Every time I tried, I was just, just shot down, put in the back seat, and was just made to like, or was forced to just go with everything that people have done. It's it's just very frustrating.
I am going to paint myself into a corner here. And do the thing that you are saying that is so frustrating. It sounds very frustrating. But what I want is for you to say no. That is the first step, perhaps. You are dragged along in all of these streams that other people set the course of. And the first step might be finding a rock to dam up this stream and say no.
You don't think I've tried saying no?
It seems that this is where my usefulness as a benevolent uncle may come to an end. As so many things will. You are right. I don't have more answers for you. As I said, just trying to carve another stream for you to follow. Here, and there's a second glass on the table and he fills it. At least say a toast with me.
Yeah, Anais takes the glass. In agreement.
He raises his and he says, to Joan Sarno.
Yeah, Anais raises her glass and repeats it as well to Joan.
Lover, friend, mentor for many years. And despite her long existence, was still taken from us too soon. Then he downs it.
Anais tries and downs it because she doesn't like bitter stuff, so.
Oh.
Take my hand.
This is sweet.
Then she goes and jugs it.
This is sweet and potent. This is a fortified wine of some kind.
Yeah, then she goes for it.
I'll settle the bill on my way out. Please finish it. I should catch my train.
Anais, pulls him in for a hug. Yeah.
And he gives you a very big, very deep hug. And he kisses Anais's forehead and says, I have wanted so much for you to find your own path, to find your own stream, as you say. I'm sorry I tried too hard, and I'm sorry that I don't think I can help you more.
Anais nods in his chest. How to explain that?
Bonsoir, chérie. And he goes, settles the tab, grabs his coat from the door, and walks out into the cold. And Anais is left there with a bottle of good sherry, 2 glasses, and a seat losing its warmth. And that's when she gets a phone call.
Yeah, she just answers it. She picks it up and answers it.
Anais, it's Gerard. We're having a little salon over at the Regent. Would you care to join us?
Yeah, she agrees. Yeah, I'll be over.
Excellent. Should we expect you soon?
Yes, I don't have any other plans today. I should get there soon.
Excellent, excellent. I'll tell Madeline. A bientôt. And he hangs up. You know that Gerard is one of the toreador from Toulouse that came with Madeline, part of her entourage. So what do you do?
I just head over there in however way I can, or I don't know what transits there are, but
So this cafe, this bar was just like half a block off of Rue Sainte Catherine, and the Regent is just at the north end of the street, at the very north end. So it's very walkable.
okay, yeah.
Okay. And as you are walking in, and texting Gerard to find out just where they are in the building, you hear a voice behind you. Anais de Condorcet, where have you been?
She jumps at the random voice, and turns over very shyly.
And as you turn around, you see a woman in a large, sort of heavy-looking black coat with the cape instead of sleeves, thrown over a nice dress, nothing super fancy though, and she's got a side shave, kind of a lustrous, richly colored brown hair. The rest of it is sort of set in a wave, and if like from the right, she would look like something out of 1950s glamour magazine. From the other side, she's clearly a more contemporary sort of lady, and you recognize her immediately. This is Josephine Allard, a once friend and lover.
Oh, just lover. I think you were gonna say lover of someone. So like my lover, or
yeah, Anais's lover.
Okay. Okay. It's like, okay. And I
3 years you don't call, you don't text, you don't even fucking Facebook.
Yeah, and I just like getting shot with like amnesia right now. Drawing blank. Yeah, she had like some sort of amnesia like at first, but then she starts to remember and feels extremely guilty to the point of her almost feeling sick. But she goes up to her and hugs her.
As Josephine is talking, she's been walking up, like clacking in her heels up to Anais from across the lobby. And when you reach each other, she takes your forearms in a practiced French sort of greeting and kisses you on both cheeks. Where have you been?
It's been a lot, is what I'll say. I don't think no.
Ugh. You and the drama, always with the drama. How long are you in town? Are you staying here at the Regent?
Yes, I'll be staying here for a while.
What's brought you back? Not me, clearly.
Just a lot of business that I have to attend to.
Well, is Anais wearing a jacket or anything like that?
If you want her to.
Okay, you're wearing a coat. And Josephine grabs the open edge of it out front. It says, "I missed you," and tugs on it.
Yeah, and it goes in for a hug.
And Josephine says, "Look, I know that things didn't exactly end well, but I have missed you. And if you could find some time outside of your busy business schedule, I'd like it if we could have dinner or something.
Yes, of course. Wherever you decide should be fine.
Okay. Are you free maybe Thursday? I've got a meeting tomorrow.
Yes, I'll rearrange everything so that we can meet at that time.
Okay, great. Your number's still the same?
Yes. So,
Okay, let me see here. Yeah, okay, so, oh, terrible woman. You would, oh, excuse me. I was about to say you would probably hate the person I'm meeting with tomorrow, but I think you know her actually. Anyway, yeah, Alicia? Do you know
every time.
Elizabeth from before?
Yes, I know her.
Yeah, she's, gosh, what a trip. She's so, I don't know. But anyway, she's loaded and she's letting me curate her galleries and collections, so gotta go where the money is. Okay, excellent. I'll pick you up from here Thursday at 8.
Yeah, she kind of gives like a blank smile of like anger like behind it, but yes, yes, this should be fine.
Great. I'll see you then.
She nods.
Bye.
Back.
And Gerard has gotten back to you, giving you a floor and room number.
Yeah, she hightails to her room, kind of not wanting to think of Alicia.
So I'm sorry. Does Anais go back to her suite or to the rooms that Gerard said?
Oh, the room that Gerard set up. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Okay. Um, sorry. I misheard. So you show up and they actually have a nicer suite. Well, someone at least has a nicer suite than you folks even have, and like it's almost like like an apartment actually. And Madeleine is holding court as she is wont to do with her cronies, and she says, without getting up, "Oh, Anais, come sit down."
Did you almost call me Alicia?
That was out of character. That was
I
my
know.
fault.
That was still I want to stay in character.
That was the last A name that was on my lips.
She still says it at Madeline though.
Wait, does Anais still say that?
Yes.
And she says, "No, who's Alicia?"
Never mind. Just never mind. It's not. It has nothing to do with you.
Okay. Come, sit down, have a drink. And Julie gets up and pours Anais a decanter of something red. Or pours Anais a glass of something red from a decanter.
And she looks at it.
It's definitely blood.
Oh, okay. She is kind of hesitant. Like she's not hungry, but you know, she takes it and just holds it, just to like ease them or appease them.
Mm-hmm. come, have us. And Madeline starts up. Come, have a seat. We want to hear all about what you've been up to since you've been in town.
She just does that sort of like casual small talk of, well, court's been fine. Um, Making some new allies and friends everywhere. Nothing of true note that's been going on.
No. And Faisal, who is a Ventru, speaks up. Wait, isn't Alicia one of the harpies here?
How do
Didn't
you
you
know
have
her?
some history with her? How's that going?
Um, I can't stand being in a room with her.
And Madeline asks, have you given her what for yet then? You were a ghoul last you saw her, yes? Slightly more equal footing now, I would think.
It's just not worth it to me at this time. I have other business, other things that are more important to me right now. I just don't want to deal with her.
Oh, sweetie, revenge is always worth it.
Well, tell me about your revenge quest.
Revenge is maybe a strong word. Of course, we are here to put the issue of Jones' murder to rest, or make sure that Boyer does, at least. That is, of course, our only reason for being in town. Make sure you tell your friends at court that.
I'll give them the message.
It is interesting, though, that this raid happens with the Sabbat, and then they are particularly cagey about the death of a visiting Primogen. That happened at all, I think, is all a bit. It's a lot going on. A little bit too much to be just coincidence, don't you think?
Yes, it would seem that way.
What is the court here saying about it?
Mainly just the same things you guys are saying, I believe. A lot of the court, they don't really do their own investigating, I'll say.
Are they just so used to being able to throw their parties and not consider the consequences?
What do you think? What do you believe? I'll ask that.
I believe that if this city were being run properly, the Sabbat would never have been able to stage such a daring and disastrous attack. Now, what properly means, who would have been running it properly, I do not suggest to know, quite frankly, but
Who would you have in mind?
I say, I don't really know. And Gerard speaks up. Oh, come on, Madeline. It's no secret that you were not happy about leaving your seat here. Madeline says, true as that may be, I have made peace with it. If I were truly wanted, Boye would not have been able to take power from me.
So why don't you just go ahead and do it?
Do what?
You were talking about power. Why don't you just go and take it?
because that's not why we're here.
And why are we here?
Joan. It's also, frankly, a bit worrying to have an unstable neighbor. Yes? The Sabbat, whether or not the Sabbat is connected, murders in the streets, well-planned, seemingly very well-informed murders of kindred just out and about. Whatever, chaos, there's something about this city that feels like it's falling apart. And unstable neighbors bring trouble.
And I ask again, why don't you just take the power over court then? If you believe that everything right now is unstable.
Because that is not what we are here to do. And I would like Anais to make a perception plus empathy check here.
Okay. Mouse. Wireless mouse, okay. Perception plus what?
Empathy.
Okay.
Difficulty 6.
Let me get that. And nice. Oh, nope. I don't like that one. Can I get a... What happened to all the good ones? What happened to all the good dice rollers? Eden dice roller. Okay, it's just gonna be what it is. See, so perception. 2 plus empathy. 5. Okay. So 2, 10, 10, and 6. So it passed.
How many successes?
So there was a 2, 4 10s, and a 6.
That's 5 hits. Holy shit. You, in this moment, you can read Madeline like an open book.
So
She has tipped her hand so far that you know exactly what the next card in the deck is, even. She is bitter about having lost control of the praxis. But she does not want power for herself. She does want Bordeaux to be stable. And there's a little bit of a personal note to it. Like, she actually gives a shit about the city, personally. The insistence that they're here to see Joan's killer brought to justice is complicated. As much as that is true, and it is a very strong pretense, there is some half plot behind it, just the same.
all right then. Yeah, then Anais goes full like Malcolm X. like you have connections, you have enough support to take power over the Kurgan. I just don't understand why you don't use that to help the city and, save everyone from the Sabbat.
We do not have enough. We can offer help. Actually, Joan was here originally to offer help. For the support of Toulouse and Paris. And then Boyer. Well, you tell me, how did Boyer take it? I suppose I don't actually know. I can only imagine.
To be honest, I don't even know fully how they took it. Joan and so many others were trying to protect me from it. I just came into this right after she burnt to a crisp.
Oh, pardon me. You're not talking to Gaston anymore. You're talking to Madeleine. Taking the court by force, imposing our will, would be untenable and would cause more destruction. I like to hope that Boyer does not have complete support here in the city, but I know that I do not have enough. And certainly Villon himself is not a well enough loved figure to simply take and hold praxis, as you suggest. All we can do is offer support at the moment.
Yeah, I just sighs like disappointment. Well, if that's all you can do, then that's all you can do. I'll do what I can to make sure that we get even more support and try and find people who are able to take this down.
She says, if you really want to support us, when Joan's killer is found, make sure that you bring them to justice.
That's my plan.
And whatever might come next, then stand with us.
I will keep note of that.
You will be well appreciated, I think, for ridding the city of whatever murderer, and us as well. Once Joan's killer is brought to justice, we have no reason to be here. But I imagine that the city will still need a strong hand and help eventually. And those stubborn in the court here may need a little help seeing reason.
I definitely agree.
Good. Good. And after that, Julie brings up some new artist that she's heard about locally and wants to know if what you know about them, and the conversation generally turns toward art and society and fashion and mortal politics. And nothing so heavy as coups and revolutions. until it is time for Anais and the rest of her new friends here in town to gather again and compare notes.